This one right here.
FB. HIVS.
GNUS, Genius Brand, shares selling off here to the lowest golfer.
Good morning, guys.
Sandy.
Let's see. Good morning, Les. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Kevin. Today I woke up and I traded GPS here. You can tell that there was a ramp in volume, or rise in volume actually. Not really a ramp, is it? It looks better when you cluster it together. There you go. You can see that ramp in volume. And then it triggered on the ones time frame. This one turned out really good, and it's still going. And then it kind of hit this area on the daily here. It went a little bit too far. That's when you really know that it's actually going to go, because it went overextended past a certain area on the daily. But it also gets a little risky because you don't know if it's going to keep going. But according to the volume, it was exhausting itself, right? So then it just got to that point, and then it's coming back down. It looked pretty good, didn't it? I think it did. And of course, the SPY is pushing down, so it's really helping short movement. So this was good for me today. Good morning, Jules. Yeah, I am up early today. I actually, I'm starting to break that rule of mine. If you guys know my playbook, I generally don't trade until 45 minutes after the bell. So, which is what, 9:15 Eastern time. I traded GPS, Golf, Papa, Sierra, around 10-ish. Wait, 9:15? No, I'm in 10:15. I'm in Central Time. I get confused. What's going on, Ruslan? Or Ruslan, sorry. No, I'm not still in position. You know me. I kind of just get out before the next support area. So with um, this one was, I would say this one was borderline great. I mean, it wasn't a unicorn, but it was great. So I took it on a 1 minute trigger, and got down to this area where it consolidated, so around 1380s. Uh, yeah, made a bit, made about 400 on that one. I don't like to go too heavy, even though this week was a good week. Made a couple of thousand today and this week. So, you know, generally if I see something great, then maybe I'll go heavy. This one just didn't have that huge volume spike I wanted, right? The this volume was higher than this one. So I was hoping that, you could have something that's extremely high, and that, and the fact that I was looking at another stock that I thought I could trade. Luckin Luckin Coffee was, according to my halt scanner, this thing was being delisted. It's Chinese. They did something wrong, obviously. It got delisted, so it was going down. So I was trying to catch it, but luckily I didn't, right? And besides, I wish it was going up instead of down. Because, like I said, a lot of stocks that go down, sometimes just don't bounce right now, right? Because of the way human behavior, the way people are feeling right now about COVID and all, where we're a little bit on a sadder side. So when things go down, they kind of stay down, but when things go up violently, it's going to come down a bit. This one didn't quite work out, did it? It kept halting because of the movement. I mean, it's being delisted, so. Hey, Sonny. Hey, glad you made it out alive. Houston wasn't that bad, though, was it? Well, I mean, in comparison to the rest of the nation. How many shares? I took 2,000 shares. I shouldn't say that. I'm not trying to downplay your job. It was tough, because if you guys know, right now it's not a good time to be a police officer. They're like, during that riot time, police officers didn't have a chance to sleep. I mean, they were working 12 hours every single day. It was crazy. If not more. 2000. How many shares did you? I took 2,000 shares. 2,000 shares because let me just put that back up. 2,000 shares.
Today from 43,230.
For a few reasons. For one, this was a great setup. I may have gone heavier because I have the ability to, based on my drawdown. So a 1 minute trigger would be like a 25-cent risk. So that would be a $400 drawdown, or stop loss. $400 with a little slippage is no big deal, considering the amount I've accrued into this small TradeNet account. I have well over, well, this week alone I have over $2,000 profit, and we're nearing the end of the week, end of the month, where you do your withdrawal. So I'm pretty up there. So I'm trying to collect my thoughts on why I would do 2,000. But generally speaking, if $400 is moderate risk for me, $1,000 is high risk, and I'm always looking for like almost a 1-to-1 ratio based on an over 90 percentile success rate. So it doesn't really psychologically affect me as much. It looks like on the Discord app, quite a few people took GPS, right? Looks like CS40 commented on GPS. Oh yeah, Sonny, you're there. Nice. The only thing that didn't prevent it from didn't have it as a unicorn, like the like perfection, was that it didn't hit the daily as properly as I would wanted it to, and the volume didn't quite spike as high as I wanted it to. But it was good. I mean, I'm assuming it's like that. A lot of time when things get into the millions volume wise, it doesn't quite make it as far as you would want it to. Good morning, Daniel. I shorted on the 1 minute trigger, so according to this one, I shorted somewhere around, well, I mean, the ideal short I was aiming for under this candle, so about 14.19. And that's a good question, Anton. Yeah, the 9 EMA. See how the 9 EMA actually, well, not this one, actually. I think I may have passed up the 9 EMA because I was looking at this area that consolidated right here. Hopefully you can see that line. Basically, wherever the charting decided to consolidate or question its movement would be an area of support, right? So that over here would be too close, so I kind of let it go a little bit further. At least I tried to. And that's the thing about going heavier, is that if you didn't go heavier, maybe you would have let it go against you a bit, and then you could actually maybe get really greedy and get it to the VWAP. But yeah, this area right here, the between 1390 something to 14 is going to be a strong area of support. You could tell that it actually tested that area, right? So that's generally how I see it. And of course the 9 EMA was pretty much there as well. So there's multiple factors on why you would think about exiting the majority of your shares there. And I'm not one to just, at 2,000 shares, I'm not going to say I'll take out 1,500. That doesn't even sound right. Why would you? I mean, you could if you want to, but personally in my mind, I'm thinking, why would you leave 500 on the table when there could be something else? So I just get in and out. So a little bit shy over 400 today on this one. It's really about how you feel in the morning. And I guess because I'm trying to get this stream running, and then when I was trying to get into this trade, I didn't feel right. I wasn't fully confident in my actions. So instead of 4,000 shares, I only put in 2,000. So, I chickened out.
PCG, PG&E indicating now $9.65 to $9.75 on 7.
But ideally, guys, say like you guys know that I'm always talking about my family friends that follow me. They're pretty much done, by the way. They know what they're doing. They may still follow me if they want to, but it's stressful. It's stressful when you have people that are close to you that are trying to replicate or copy you. So if they're watching, definitely wouldn't suggest them to throw in 2,000 shares, even though these people are pretty well off. They're retired and all. But like I said, you know how I mentioned how my approach changed a bit. So I'm always going a little bit heavier. Because, if it looks good, then... So that's why I have a problem with when people talk about how much you're about to risk. Because everybody has a different level of
new coronavirus cases in Texas as of yesterday.
Gameplay, more or less. Some people snipe for the perfect shot, and some people just shoot away over and over again if they think they can get it.
Reported rise of 7.8% versus previous 7-day
Anton
average
asked,
of
are they using
1.1%.
trade ideas or something else? Or you mean like TradeNet? At that time they did. That's why I was supporting TradeNet, because when you're new at trading, the drawdown is really important. I mean, I don't know if you know a lot of trading friends that start off. I mean, the chances of blowing up your account is pretty high, right? And when you're talking about blowing up your account, if you're doing PDT rules, you can't go past 25,000. So let's just say you put in 30,000. Then you gave yourself a $5,000 drawdown.
S&P
That's
futures
kind of ideal, right? But at the same time, you just started trading, and and you're throwing in $25,000. Unless you're pretty well off, it's not like you have spare money just to put into an account. So a lot of times that's where the TradeNet comes into play. Also, most people that with money don't just put in 30,000. They'll put in 50,000. And so then you have a $25,000 possibility of a drawdown, which sucks. And let's not forget that even if you have a $30,000 account with basically a $5,000 drawdown, if you're in a trade, it's not like they stop you from one trade going past 25,000. Oh, okay. Sorry, Anton. I thought you were talking about. Yeah, they all use trade ideas. I mean, that's the only one I know that works for me. I have delved into another one, but I couldn't get it to work on my computer. They actually reached out to me. I may try it again. It's called Momo Trader. That actually looks pretty cool. You know, the only gripe I have about trade ideas, and it's not really a gripe because I like how all my scanners are in the side here. I mean, it literally almost takes up half of my monitor. So the only gripe is I would have to click onto it just to take a quick glance on what the charting looks like, because I'm a visual person. I need to see what the chart looks like, just to confirm if it actually looks right. And I think Trade Ideas actually does have this option. I just don't use it. But a lot of the other ones are charting. They'll show you charts of everything instead of just a ticker. Then you can just take a quick glance and look at it. But then I'm thinking to myself, well, if that's the case, how many charts are you going to have filling up your monitor, you know? Sonny asked, did I get GPS? Yeah. Where is it? Oh, that was a $14 stock. Here it is right here. Down here. It started announcing GPS early this morning around 9:40. And then it kept calling it. You know, when my side chick keeps calling out a ticker, you got to start listening. Chat room saying that we missed out on CBLI. Oh. Yeah, you know that's one of the few cons about TradeNet is that a lot of these small caps, you know, the ones that are like under $10 or $15, aren't tradable. And right now, these small caps are just being ridiculous for one reason or another. They're all pharmaceuticals or something. They do these crazy movements, like this one right here that Luke just announced, that we missed CBLI. This right here. I mean, this is kind of textbook, isn't it? But it's a penny stock. Well, it's considered penny because you can see the hundred thousandths on the bid and ask. Artie says turquoise acquisition to the moon. What? Okay, that's a stock, right? Turtis acquisition. Is that TA? Oh, it's shell. Wait, SHLL. What? Am I looking at the right one? SHL to the moon? I don't see that. I'm probably confusing you. I'm probably being confused. Is it? I mean, let me. Oh, I'm looking at the intraday and I'm thinking, what are you? It's going down, but yeah, holy crap!
That's DELL.
It's all the way up here. It almost hit the 20s.
There were 51.35 down 25 cents. Shares of VMware.
What is this thing? I see it noticed on when I googled it. It was they were talking about Nikola too as well. I know Nikola was all over the scanners. What is this? Located in Kansas. Oh, a merger. Very cool. Wouldn't know how to trade this one though, honestly. I mean, swing trade. That would have been awesome. There's a new electric powertrain? Holy crap. Watch out, Cummins. Or International. Well. Why didn't y'all tell me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago? That's awesome. So you think it's going to go higher, guys? Tortoise. It's pronounced tortoise. But you know, when I read it, I'm saying tortoise. Because I'm stupid like that. Math teachers, man, can't pronounce anything. Facebook is diving pretty hard. Oh no, it's just a replicating spy.
PCG, PG&E shares selling off here now after opening. Papa Charlie Golf, secondary offering on PG&E, hitting $9.45 now. Shares down 2.5% for PCG.
What's going on with PCG? It just opened. Papa Charlie Golf, PCG. Okay, this one was halted. Kind of muggy here in Houston. Y'all hear about that dust coming from Africa or something? The Sahara Desert. Okay, I'm starting to think I'm lucky that I couldn't trade LK Luckin Coffee. This one was being halted over and over again, trying to be delisted. It never rebound. But you know, I'm short bias, so I'm always looking things that go up. This one went down, so I really didn't know what to do. But I was almost tempted to enter at this green candle. I was thinking I was actually in, but then it halted and I got out, and it was zero. Basically, I didn't make any money off that, and I wouldn't have because I'm actually, well, yeah, I still wouldn't have. I mean, it's just going sideways. But if I were a gambling man, I would think to short it underneath this area because it's being delisted, right? But you never know what people are thinking nowadays. Sunny says I took 700 shares on a GPS gap, but was averaging in. I went in too soon. Yeah, that happens. Especially, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, it was showing up in the scanner really early because it was already thinking it was overextended. So did you get in like here on the near the 1390s, and then you started averaging in? That looks like an area that potentially could have been an entry. Like I said, this one wasn't entirely the greatest setup, but I would still label this as great. Nelson said gone in a 13.7. Okay, so yeah, during the consolidation area, right, where it looked like it was actually going to go up. So, I mean, I'm not giving it justice here. That's why I like to bunch up my candles, because if I put it closer, you can really see the ramp. So you got it up here. Yeah, so you got faked out on the 1 minute entry. Yeah, I can totally see that. Um, the one other thing that doesn't make this a unicorn, other than the previously mentioned the volume spike, isn't a real volume spike, right? It was just ramping up. Is that reset? It keeps making these resets. So at 17, let me see if I can convince myself if I would have entered at 13.7. Oh, okay, I see it. There's also a daily candle right here. That's at 13.75, right? So that gives conviction on why you would enter at 13.75. And quite possibly, no, I was around during that time. It's just there wasn't a volume spike. That's the issue. So if it's that early in the morning, generally you want it to exceed the morning's volume. I mean, the very beginning. And this one didn't quite. And I know that a lot of stocks do go, even though it doesn't create that volume spike. That's the issue, that you get caught up in good trades that go without all your parameters met. So you may get in. I wouldn't have averaged in though, Sonny, because the great thing about this is it's a 1 cent spread. So there's no reason to hold on to something and double up. I would just cut my loss and then find another entry. To me, that doesn't necessitate that you failed on a trade, because it's the same ticker, yet it's looking better and better. You'll see people like Clay Trader that will double up over and over again, and then you'll see an unrealized of like, I don't know, $1,000, and then he'll find its way back down, and then you get out. So I wouldn't do that. I would just cut my loss, because you really don't know where the next entry is. And then if it does start to go, then you may have to enter impromptu, like just by instinct, if there is a volume spike or a resistance area really nearby. Or I'll just let it keep running until I see another ramp in which it did create. Yeah. But I can see why you got in early, that's for sure.
China messages that U.S. pressure could jeopardize purchases.
And that
of
is a
US
strategy
imports.
that some people have adopted, that I noticed. That you'll just keep adding to a position. I don't like doing that. That's how you get caught up sometimes, at least for me, because I don't add liquidity if I were on my Lightspeed account. I'm not going to put a limit order and let it hit. You know, that's called like fishing.
China's warning in Yang Pompeo
I don't
meeting that
fish.
US
I have to see it, the
farmer
picture.
spending.
Yeah, pins. Sorry, I did. Yeah, pins look good.
CNNE.
Pins does look good. But as the market is going down, I really don't.
KIN,
I'm really hesitant to go long on anything.
traders, circulating
I would rather have
documents
something
from Operation Warp Speed vaccine program positive
go up
into
and short it
biosciences that
because the market's going down.
James
But sometimes,
at Kilo India November.
let me see. Oh, there it's going right now.
Raymond James says Kindred is one of the manufacturing partners of Vaxart for the vaccine.
If you do something like this would
That's
be considered a
Kilo
scalp
India November.
because
Kindred Biosciences
I don't know.
474.
it looks like it just
And
touches
now-
the blue line, you know, the 90 MA 1 minute, and then it may
Halted
actually
on a
fall
circuit
back
breaker.
down on its butt.
KIN halted now on a
This
circuit
is
breaker.
a good trade, or an okay trade for me, especially when I'm short biased. Ian, what's going on, Ian, from Ireland? Thanks, man. Paper trading with TradeView. You know, I need to look into that. I've heard people
CNN.
talking about paper trading with TradeView.
Time magazine.
So I'm
says
assuming you're doing
Chinese
really good in
blockade
TradeView.
intended
That's
for
cool.
Hong Kong protesters.
Ireland. I just spoke to somebody from Ireland. In Galway.
Texas COVID-19 hospitalizations at plus 7.7% versus plus 8.
Yeah,
on
I'm.
Thursday.
Yeah, CNNE is holy crap, it's tradable. Okay. CNNE. Charlie November Echo. It is reaching reaching an area. The volume's low and it's just moving up.
CNNE.
Where's the volume? Right now it looks good, but I really need the volume to kick in. Zach from the Discord says, agrees that TradeView is a really good platform for. There it goes. It's going without volume. Either it goes or it doesn't, right? But I mean, I wouldn't have taken this
Virgin Galactic,
without the volume.
on CNBC appearance
See.
by the CPO.
That's that fear of missing out, right?
Now up 1.2.
And then it makes you look silly because like
SPCE 75
these are lessons.
ago.
This is a good example of a lesson that you don't have to learn. It didn't have a volume spike. It didn't have a ramp in volume. It's just going. So these things happen. Sometimes I'm too picky, but I can't trust these that don't give me the volume. Luke says he uses TradeView for all my charting. If you pay for it, you get market replay. Cool. That would help a lot. Market replays if I'm doing the videos. I'm not gonna pay for it though. I'm cheap. That was a good call though, Anton, on CNNE. Oh, that's a dirty green candle right there. Okay, push back down. Nice. Oh, it's only $14.95 each. Cool. Kin halted. Kilo India. November. Is November the right NATO alphabet? Sounds too long. Yeah, it is November. Okay. That's what I said to myself. I should go. Especially when, man, if I go, I'm going to get quarantined for 2 weeks. Sunny says easy borrow. Sunny, what platform are you using? If you don't mind me asking. Oh, Thinkorswim. Okay. Yeah, Thinkorswim, E-Trade. And during these times, I miss E-Trade.
TYTD, Polyfade shares,
They all have
Papa
great.
Papa Yankee, Papa Delta. $16.
Ability to trade anything, including penny stocks. Morning, Heredia or Jorge.
PYPD, Polyfade.
93? Is that 1993? Wow, you're young.
Shares
1993.
now falling below the
That's pretty much the time I started trading.
offering price. Sorry, below the opening price now at, and the offering price now at 15.34.
Anton, nice call on CNNE.
TYPD, Papa Yankee, Papa Delta.
You know, when I get on the chat room, sometimes
Harris County, Texas.
I have to be very careful of what I say because I'm so picky nowadays. I'm not trying to tell everybody to trade my way, because this is definitely something I probably would trade when I was, if you look at my older videos, like 4 or 5 years ago, I would definitely be interested in trading something like this because it was a lot easier. I would just, everything looked good, but now I'm kind of picky. Yeah, I really like how Thinkorswim has the mobile. Really, Sonny? You switched from Lightspeed to Thinkorswim? I can't do that. Well, if you look at the way I trade, Lightspeed is the only way to go for me. Thinkorswim is good. I like Thinkorswim, but you notice a lot of people are complaining about delays. I'm not sure because I never traded with Thinkorswim. I just have a small funded account with them so I can use the charting and Benzinga and CNBC. But the level 2, I can't control the font or anything. I can't control the colors. A lot of things, not a lot, but some of the things I just can't. Well, the commissions, the free commissions does help, but when it's just not fast enough for me. Sometimes I get that, it's just not fast for me. I need it faster. I don't know why. And I have used E-Trade in the past. E-Trade and Thinkorswim, I would assume back then was pretty much the same speed, but just put it this way. the way I trade with TradeNet is pretty much the way I would trade with Lightspeed, except with Lightspeed it'll be even more, maybe 1.5 to 2 times larger in shares. So if I really know it's going to go, I need a platform that goes extremely fast. I mean, I need executions on the dot, and just $4 per trade is nothing for me, considering the amount of profit you could make. But Thinkorswim, sometimes I've noticed in videos there's that lag, and that could mean a lot. It could have already, gone. But yeah, if it works for you, that's awesome. And in perspectively, to what you are saying, there's a trader I know that's a scalper, another scalper, not the one I'm always talking about. That's my friend. There's another trader that uses E-Trade for scalping. So, speed is relative. I'm looking at big. I don't care for it. I don't even know if I would say it's a okay trade for me, because it's a breakout. See how it did a small breakout from here at 42.18, and it just came back up, and it's triggering on my scanner because of the amount of volume that it took to do the breakout. And then we can see, I mean, there's plenty of reasons to take it, but from a visual perspective, just looking at it, I don't see anything that special, especially when it reset. It did a huge reset here. And this is one of the things that I would say, if I made a video of what not to trade, is something that does a rainbow effect and then does a full reset for a move for another breakout. Then from there on out, it's not really going to be a parabolic move anymore. It's going to be, just a channel move, a reset. And then that to me, you could be in your favor, but it's not going to be a 90% success, in my opinion. Hey, Charble. You're using TES. Oh, okay, awesome. The same as TradeNet. Oh, you are using TradeNet, the student account. What do you think about them? I like them. I mean, you'll see in my videos that I complain about the slippage that they do. It's like they're stealing money from me, but that's their prerogative. If you're green, you're green. The only problem is if you're red, you're a little bit more red than you thought you'd be, right? But the way I see it is, it's a great platform, if not the best platform for learning, because transitioning from something like TradeNet to Lightspeed is easy. My setup's the same, but there are a few things that TradeNet can do to make it a little bit better, and some people have told me that there's somebody have told me that there's another platform that TradeNet has. I forgot what they called it. I just really haven't switched over because I got comfortable with this one. I should switch over. I can probably report it, you're right. But they're going to be like, oh, really? I didn't know that. It's like I remember a long time ago, I reported something when I tried out TradeNet 4 years ago when I had a chat room. During the chat room, I had a lot of beginner traders, and so they were using something like TradeZero or SureTrader or TradeNet. Those are the three that was the biggest or most popular. So I'm on my Lightspeed with a lot of leverage, and I can't trade like them. So I got a TradeNet account for them or with them, and I would ask them the simplest questions, and they'll kind of play dumb. Maybe I'll ask my account manager. He seems to be really nice, and he'll help me out. But the previous one I had was he's just a salesperson. Comex. Yeah, that is another one too, isn't it? Comex is a good option. Oh, really? Okay, Charple. Charple's saying that moderators are using it. I know that I've been offered it. I just never really switched over. I'm not a moderator, but they know who I am. TD showed ATB. Kevin, what do you mean? TD showed ETB? ETB the ticker? Because I don't see anything in ETB. ETB is giving me dots. Ooh. Gross. I'm probably not understanding you correctly. Yeah, Comex is the same. Okay, sorry. You're right. I'm confused. Yeah, right now, my TradeNet contacted me to tell me that they're selling Comex now, so you get to choose between TradeNet student account or actually buying a Comex account. Jules says, I used the new platform with TradeNet. It's really nice interface. Some of my favorite features charting was very easy, and it has a scalper mode. What? Okay. It has a scalper mode? Okay, you piqued my interest, Jibbles. I'll look into that. Oh, Thinkorswim has easy to borrow, so you can short it. Yeah. So does E-Trade, I think. I mean, E-Trade, you can short almost everything. But yeah, why not? Okay. I don't know. I just every time I'm talking to other traders on YouTube, everyone's complaining about Thinkorswim's lag. So, lag is something I'm just really worried about.
FUSN indicating $19.
That's the reason why I don't use E-Trade anymore. But hey, well, why not, huh? Just I'll think about it. But one thing's for sure, I wish I can take the time and sales off the charting. I wish I can move my level 2 to the side. I'm just so used to having my setup. Daniel's asking what I think of interactive brokers. I think they're awesome. I think they're probably second to Lightspeed. I know interactive brokers probably isn't Interactive brokers probably isn't the fastest, but it has the ability to trade almost everything. Ken.
API indicating
yeah, I did see Ken, but on the you're right, Sonny. You didn't mention that during the halt.
Dino.
It's the beautiful rainbow effect that I'm going to cover. I'm probably going to post tomorrow. I made a video based on this move. It's just not tradable on TradeNet, and that's what I'm on right now. I don't know if this one's tradable on Lightspeed. But yeah, this one was nice. A clean 1 minute trigger. Went against you a little bit, but it went 50%. Down to 50%. It's beautiful. I love these moves. The good call, Sonny. So yeah, you know how the YouTube algorithm is. like every time I post like 2 videos at once, one gets lost. Not lost, but my audience doesn't quite see it or announced. So I have to post it another day. So if I'm streaming today, I'm going to post another video tomorrow that I finished yesterday, because that's the only way that, some people actually get to see it. Nice, honey. Yeah, send me the scanner. Let me check it out, please. Send it to me by the Discord. Actually, I can't quite see the picture you sent me. Can you try Yeah, I did. I'm looking at it. I can't see it. I mean, it's not clear enough. See, if I get to here and I click on it, it's really hard to read. Volume 500,000. What does that say? Close, stock close, mark minimum 1. I gotta like really open up my chinky eyes to see this. So you only have 3 parameters set up for it, and it works okay for you? That's cool. How's it going, X8 or XViz? How come you stopped using TradeNet? Well, I am using TradeNet again, as I picked up some of my dad's friends as clients. For basically, if I don't have anybody to coach, then I'm just going to use my Lightspeed, because it's it's better. Similar? No, I don't actually. XViz. I don't know anybody similar. Meaning like paying $3,000 and getting $80,000 buying power. I don't know. That's the problem. I have a few friends that blew up their account, and they're wondering what to use. And
SNX.
I think the next bet would be CMEG, but you're not going to get the buying power. BCRX. That showed up on my Ian's saying BCRX. Oh, that is pretty. BCRX is pretty. What does it look like on the 1 daily chart? What? I don't like, see how it's like reaching up here? It's trying to reach out to the high a day. It's on a mission. So you could take this as like a possible, hit and rejection. And also, gosh, you really need to throw in a lot of shares just to, if you have a platform that's per trade, it would be nice. Okay, it's reaching out to the high a day. Because for me, it just doesn't have much range, right? So one of the longest candles is from 60 to 64, a 4-cent candle. You're going to have to put in a lot of shares to make some profit. Oh, look at that volume spike. So the thing about this is its attempt to do a breakout, but it does look good. I'll call this good, because it really overextended itself to get all the way to the top. so it does have a really good chance of coming down. But in my playbook, I don't do breakouts like this, you know. But it does look good. This is a good and okay setup. Oh no, it's a good. It's better than okay. Oh, trade view or trading view, is that the same thing? They have a scanner as well? Interesting. Very cool. Hey, you know, Sonny, if it works for you, it works for you. It's only a bad habit if it doesn't work out. Ian says CRS. Spy's doing a little bit of a bounce here. A little bit. CRS, I'm not into those. I'll make a video soon about that, but that's just how I see things. I don't, even though it's, so today it went up and down. This is like one of those channel reversals, so they work, like Bollinger Band reversals, but I'm not looking for that type because I really have added conviction when there's never a single reset, and this right here is a huge reset, and then there's a breakout right there, and so now it broke out, and this is a support area. It's very possible that it could be supported here and go long. You know, it's not very clear to me anymore. Hey man, please suggest some effective indicators. Well, the only indicator that I use is the volume and the 9 EMA, exponential moving average. I don't like clutter. This is enough clutter for me right there. This is the glowing lines right now is the VWAP, and with this VWAP it has its own what do you call those things? I should know this. Upper band, lower band. Has these bands that I could remove, but the VWAP is volume weighted average price. This is a really good indicator for a full pullback. For me, this is like home runs. But the 9 EMA, the blue line, is the one that I use the most. Nice, Sonny.
SNX.
Okay. SNX is doing a. It's a breakout. Right now, everything's doing a breakout because of the SPY doing this thing right here. There's a lot of volume down there, isn't it? Am I looking at this right? Yeah. Looks like it's going to approach VWAP. I don't know. You never know what's going to happen. It just takes somebody to say something about the market, and then everything does something funny. Oh crap! Oh, I missed your announcement. Holt. You know, right now, INO Innovia has been being pushed around a lot. Look at that move right here. So this is a really undeniable move, regardless if it's a breakout. I mean, the thing about this is one good thing about INO, if you look at the daily, it's really extended, guys. I mean, so it went all the way down here and it came back all the way up. It's already questioning its move the past previous few days. This is something that I may actually put on my watch list. Some of you guys ask me, do I ever have a watch list? And I just say no. But this INO has always been in the back of my head, because when something moves like this, there's going to be a good day. And for a counter trend,
SNX.
for a counter trader, the best move would be one that that reverses intraday instead of overnight. Like, instead of one big green candle one day and the next day is going straight down, you're not going to find a really good counter. Maybe you could, but the best one would be, ideally for me, it would be, it goes up and then it tries to go up some more, but it comes back down. But in this case, it went all over the place. But look at that move right there. That's huge. So it has to reset. But you can tell it got kind of messy here. So nice call, Holt. That's an X.
CBLI.
Hey, anytime, man. That's what I'm here for. I just, it's just how it is, though. I should probably Fridays, if I stream, you could just tell right here. I mean, you hear my trade ideas shouting out, but you could tell that the volume is kind of, the new highs and lows are starting to diminish, as Fridays generally are that way. So for me, it's hard to find a good trade to go to risk. But trading is not a game. Not when you go as LBGO. What is this? LBGO is doing a similar move, just like INO. But it's it's one of those breakouts, but it's a huge breakout, so it's hard to. If you guys could do me a huge favor and click that like, it really helps that YouTube algorithm. That thing makes a difference. I'm kind of liking that Google AdSense lunch money. Thanks, guys. Let's see. What is Discord talking about? So Zeeb says Dollar Tree was a trade, Luke? Oh. That's a different shape for sure. But it hit the 96, that's interesting. So on the in the chat room, some people traded this thing. I'm assuming was it short or long? I don't know, but it looks good both ways. Let's see. It did have a solid area on the daily for a short. Nice, Zach. So yeah, if you guys want to get in a chat room of more or less like-minded people, check out that. I think I put it in the description, the newbietrading.com. They're always on the lookout for something moving hard. It was short at the peak. Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. That was nice. Nice one, Luke. Wow, it was so clean too. All those red candles. It's like it never really fakes you out. I don't know if I would have taken it. That's what discourages me. Not that it's a bad call. Obviously, it's not. It's just that, holy crap, this area right here would have been a headache, because entry, yeah, it's like a fade. I'm not good at those, but definitely a great strategy. Yeah, it didn't. Okay, yeah, it kind of moved with 9 o'clock, 9:15. Yeah, it was moving with SPY down here. SPY really helped it just trickle down. It's nice. Good call. Yeah, I like it too, Derek. I mean, Jeremy tries his best to make things as like-minded. It's hard to find a good chat room, but if you're new, it's easy to find a good chat room because you're still just playing the field. You don't know exactly what you want, so there are a lot of chat rooms that are really diverse. And obviously there are traders that can do lots of different strategies, like scalpers for one. Scalpers will do all the strategies bits at a time, You're very welcome, NS Farm. Thanks for chiming in. Here's one of my favorite cups right here. Or cat. Cats are cool too. So we all had a green week today. This week. Big Lots is just moving non-stop up. Thanks, Boo. Man, I just wish I could just get in on time. I tried to come in early. To find something to trade, that is. Good week in India? Awesome. AGI. It's insurance, right? Oh, Alamo's gold. Wait, is this gold? invest in Monarch Gold. Yeah, this is gold. Yeah, so when when the market goes down, precious metals go up. I can't I can't get myself to trade those. That's just me though. Um, when they say that when the market goes down, you can always trust and invest in gold, and that's what's going on right now. Not to say it's not a good look. This thing looks awesome, but the issue is just that I've seen these things go I just can't get my I don't haven't figured out how to read these things very well. So I wouldn't know what to think about it, honestly. Yeah, shiny rocks. Derek says, I've been in a chat room before where the host was like Barker in a circus telling everyone where to get in and out of a trade. I don't know. Some people may like that. Um, hey, if somebody's really like I remember I was part of a chat room and there was a scalper, and one day he decided to start announcing his trades because generally he would type it in, and when you type something in on a scalp, it's relatively too late. And real scalpers only go for 2 to 4 cents on a penny stock, and they're going to put 20,000 shares or something like that. They would he decided to start announcing it, and that was really exciting because it was it's a lot faster as long as they like tell you ahead of time, I'm looking at this, I may short it here, okay, I exit it or something like that. That would be awesome. Thanks, Wu. I mean, trading in itself is stressful enough. I'm not going to add to that by yelling or showing too much emotion. But I mean, honestly, like someone like Clay Trader that says trade without emotion. Personally, that to me that's impossible. Maybe if I overdose on some of my medication, trading would be without emotion. But just having it in check, I think that's what he truly means. And trust me, even though I may act calm, he'll hear it from me. I mean, if the trade is going bad or going sideways, and I'm in a trade and I'm streaming, I may actually take this lens cap and just cover it up. I may just take this and just cover it like this, because I need to start pacing around and wait for it to finish its BS. Because the worst case scenario, right, is if it ramps up and you want it to come down but it doesn't. It plays games and it goes sideways. Now, if it's going to go sideways, then you just gotta let it do its stupid thing, and that may take 5 to 10 minutes. So then I'm just going to be walking in circles, just waiting minute after minute, because every candle matters. But within the candle, who cares, right? You set your stop, and I just start pacing to lower my heart rate or lower my blood pressure. Yeah, I think so too, Sonny. Well, coming from someone who has the highest stressful job, that means a lot. Um, you just a little bit of fear is good. Some people that don't have any fear or actually just want that adrenaline, those are the people you have to worry about. The people that sounds like salespeople, they're out of there. But the people that says let's go, or let's get this going, you can't trust those people, because those are the same people that probably lose a lot of money too. Sonny asks, who was that? Was it Ross? No, Ross doesn't scalp, even though he does get in and out real fast sometimes, right? I think back in the days he did. No, it wasn't Ross. Ross doesn't do that. Doesn't scalp like that. I'm surprised nobody ever calls Ross out as a fake guru. Probably because he does make a lot of money. But there in the past, he has been you know, there are a lot of fingers pointing at him. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying it's interesting how a lot of people are protected by an umbrella. And then this is the world of YouTube, where other people that are being marked as targets, as fake gurus, out of nowhere. You know, hey, big boy blue. What do I think about swing trading? That's what I used to do in high school. I was set, you know, my MACD and my 20 and 50 and 100 and 200 simple moving averages, and I'll look for, you know, intersections, and it was easy back then because it wasn't my money, it was my father's, and I did really well swing trading. But that was back then. Now, now that for the 10 years that I've been day trading, I can't go back to swing trading. I've seen a lot of people make a lot of money swing trading. You can, but you know, when something bad hits, it gets hit, and then you can lose a lot of money. I've never had that happen to me in the 1990s, but now it's like the market's all over the place. The newer generation's coming in to the market, right? I think that's one of the newest topics right now, about how the millennials are over optimistic and we're stuck in this quarantine COVID issue. So they're starting to pick up stock trading, and they're going all in. You know, one young man killed himself because he thought he lost $700,000 on Robinhood. I mean, there's a lot of people just jumping into small caps, and that's one of the reasons why small caps are just going all over the place, according to some analysts. And so from that alone is going to make the market more volatile, right? Yeah, I like Ross. I mean, I have nothing against him. But, you know, I am not one to condemn or accuse anybody for anything, honestly. I mean, I see nothing wrong with someone who wants to make a side hustle while you're day trading, because day trading's hard. So it makes total sense that they understand, after blowing up a few accounts, that regardless if you can make 100,000 or more every year, there's going to be that 1 week that can wash you out. So it's always nice to have, if you have a skill and you want to make money off of it, that sounds like, you know, that sounds like the American thing to do. Personally, I can't get myself to do something like that, because, you know, new traders already have it hard. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. But I mean, yeah, even as a school teacher, we get paid, right? We get paid for teaching, for my time. And one of the biggest reasons I won't do it is because I don't want to be forced, you know? I don't want to feel like I'm obligated to teach anybody anything, because some people aren't worth teaching, honestly, because they're not going to try hard enough. And I'm going to get disappointed, and the stress level is going to go up. And then I'm feel like I should be charging more, you know? So you're always going to be able to, if I can pick my own students, then all I'm going to get are perfect students, and life will be great. Big Boy Blue has a good point. He says he's been interested in day trading, thought I would be more though I have more success in swing. I think it may be the fact that I have the time to make logical decisions rather than emotional ones. Yeah, very true, Big Boy. when you do breakout trading, which is the most popular thing, because of Ross, it gets really emotional, right? Because regardless of how heavy you get in, the thing is moving dramatically. And even in the latest news and studies, it shows that only 1% of day traders are successful. Swing trading is shy of long-term trading, and long-term trading has been tried and true. Go long, and the chances of you making money is very high because you see the charting. It always goes up, except for just recently, which rebounded huge afterwards. So swing trading is also another good way of doing it. But personally, swing trading can be just as hectic. I mean, assuming that you have $10,000 at risk, for me, I won't be able to sleep really well at night. So it really depends on how you yeah, it really depends on how you do the swing trades, I guess. So yeah, you have a point there. But I mean, if you look at my videos, I feel like counter trading really takes a lot of the emotion out as well. But that's just me though. That depends on the person, because with counter trading, counter trend, you're waiting for the charting to develop. So you have plenty of time to collect your emotions. But of course, there's always that feeling that you're waiting in line for that roller coaster, right? That's always that, biting your nails kind of feeling. But it works out, right? I think I've proven that it does. I do feel like I do have logical decisions, considering I'm looking for a volume, a ramp. If you use all of everything in your playbook to create the greatest setup, and the charting ends up doing what you want, then I do feel like it's a viable, logical decision, and you get in and out, and I don't have to worry about what happens overnight. That's the way I think. But yeah, it's always based on your personality. So hats off to you, Big Boy Blue. I mean, I did make a lot of money from my dad swing trading, so if you can do it, that's awesome. But you're always welcome to try out swing trading with me, or just look over my videos. It's someone like you that's true beginner. It would be great to have your input, so I know exactly what content to, or what I'm missing. So let's keep in touch. What's going on with this Ross talking? What are y'all doing? Sells into a subs. He buys it with a 7-second lag. He sells them. That was the issue with how some people were saying that it could be a simulator back in the days. I think it would be impossible to have so many subs. What's SHL again? Yeah, it's moving. Yeah, DNB call out SHL as well as a potential mover. But I gotta tell you guys, that's just the way I am. I like the first breakouts, and this one is one of those. So this one is out of the band, so it has potential coming back for sure. And it's at 25 half-dollar roll, which is really nice. Let's see. Really? Ross is trading low floats now? When you trade low floats, you can move the market a bit if the volume's low enough, but that doesn't sound like him back in the days, at least. I mean, I followed him 5-6 years ago, but I never really got into breakout trading because I was always a counter trader. We was asking strategy used to swing trade and scan. um, it was I would use the RSI, the MACD. That would tell me where it's going to. Hey, that's actually a counter as well. But you're looking for an area that you find the trend, you find the pullback, and then my strategy for swing would always be to more or less find a movement to continue the trend after a pullback.
API.
Marksman says Ross day traded like he has 80% win rate. I don't think he does. I don't think he has an 80% win rate. No, that's relatively high for a breakout trader. He just max size 6,000. Wow, you guys really follow him. I don't know any of this stuff that you guys are talking about. Sunny says SGMO.
TME.
Yeah, I'm kind of I've been in the game for a little too long, I guess. You know what you know, and you just stop following other people because I don't want the noise in my head. But I have done breakouts every now and then. Tortoise is on the move again. Shell, right? Shell. Yeah, Shell looks like it's outside of the band. It looks like it's coming back in. It has that volume too. Yeah, this is already going. Yeah, I mean, I think Ross is the real deal. It doesn't help his image that he sells his packages for so expensive. I don't even know how much it is, but I'm assuming it's expensive. And there's probably different tiers, right? The bottom line, guys, is regardless of how you trade, if you can teach well, that should be enough. You shouldn't have to be able to prove it. Now, I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to add to that ridiculous phrase that if you can't do, teach, because you have to be able to do it at least once in your life in order to teach it. But I do think he most likely is a successful trader. Bottom line, he just makes even more because he has his followers. Marksman asks, how do you read time and sales? I don't really read it. With time and sales, I use it at my peripheral vision. I just want to see the red and green. So if the red's streaming, I know it's going down. If green is streaming, I know it's going up. I'm staring at the level 2 while I see a clutter of red and green on the sidelines. Now, if for some reason I see a huge volume spike on the 1 minute, I may have to go scroll down the tape time and sales to see if it was a fat finger or not, just to make sure it wasn't like multiple traders. It was just one big trader that ruined the charting. That's how I read the time and sales. That's why I say I'm not a scalper, because scalpers look at time and sales religiously. They use that as finding the momentum for a move, and in and out. Yeah, Johnny. Dan Parker, right? He relatively has the same strategy as me. I almost feel like he ripped me off because I've been here first. But he's obviously a really good trader, and he does preach about finding the very highs and bottoms within the hour. That's not always possible, right? I mean, a lot of stocks don't reverse until much later. That's why I always say I don't trade until after 45 minutes. But other than that, he's a counter trader, just like me. Hey, Mahmood. Yeah, I traded Gap today, GPS, and I'm up about 400. So, it's not exactly 500 plus because I chickened out on my shares, but it is what it is. It's Friday, and I'm up a couple of thousand this week, so it's good. I don't really want to, even if you're green. What sucks about trading is any red trade is a crappy day for me, especially if it's your last trade, and that's more or less how it always ends. So if you're let's just say you're like up $1,000 on Friday, and your very last trade is minus 100. you know how to, you know how shitty that would make me feel. And that's when everything starts tumbling down, right? Emotionally inside. So I've been green a lot this week. I don't want a single red on a Friday. So give me a $5 green day, and I'll be happier then. Have you ever guys ever had? Oh, I know you guys do. All of you, every trader does. That you have a really strong red trade, so you keep trading to get green, and you actually get green, right? Some of you may feel vindicated, but to me, I feel like crap because I'm keep looking back. I have to look back at the video just to make sure. Did I just revenge trade there? Did I do this just because? And a lot of times, part of it is, maybe 50% of it, all of it is revenge trade. Even though you made it up, you gotta look back and say, how's my mindset going to be tomorrow? Because you just turned into a slut just so you can get green again. I don't know. That's just how I feel. I guess I too much pressure on myself.
SHLL.
BO traders eat whip traders for breakfast. Yeah, those who can't teach do. I don't. Whoever came up with that phrase, those who can't do teach, it probably has some really crappy teachers. But the sad truth is that mere fact that a lot of people think that teachers. Now the best teachers, like those who can't do teach,
SHLL.
may probably have done it in the past. Say like, professors. I can easily say this about myself because I'm not a natural trader. I know this because I was a good trader when I was in high school because I had no skin in the game. I was just using my dad's money. What does a high schooler know about money anyways? At least I didn't. Until I got married and had bills. That's when I realized, holy crap, this is real. And then I started feeling that weight, But so I get, my blood pressure rises. I had panic attacks. I can't attribute my mental, psychological state based on day trading, but I am. Here's a little confession for all y'all who don't know. I am bipolar, so I will have off days. So for you guys know that when you're trading, you really have to be focused, and if any form of emotion that's negative is going to affect you. So like I'll say another good tip for when not to trade is when you're in a bad mindset. Say you got into a fight with your girlfriend or your boyfriend or significant other. That is not a good time to trade. Regardless of what, if you think you're ready, you're not ready. Your mental state's just not there where it's supposed to be. So when I'm bipolar, is the same way. Bipolar means that you have manic or hypermanic episodes where you feel like everything's going to go great regardless of what happens. Then you just become a risk taker, and then you'll dive down and become depressed. So day trading doesn't help me in that area, but I'm able to channel it and file it away like a man does, right? Uh, but I do have, like, sometimes if I have a huge green day, regardless of how great the day is or week is, by tomorrow, I may have something very similar to PTSD, and I have medication for that, where I'll just get really depressed. So literally, when they say the Wall Street is like is the only job where you can't wait for Monday to begin and you can't wait for Friday to end. Personally, I can't wait for the weekend to never come back, because I can't come back. My emotional state is a huge wave, so I have to take medication for that crap. So so I know, like, in the future, when I get older, I may not be able to trade anymore, because it's going to affect me psychologically and physically. Because your psychological state will mesh into your physical state. Your blood pressure is probably going to be whack. So I really try to take care of myself and try to be physically fit, because I know emotionally there's nothing I can really do about that, except just focus and meditate and stupid shit like that. So then I will become that person that can't do what I teach. I know I can teach this, because I just know. I have a few friends that have become successful because of me, and that makes me really happy, and that's what keeps me going. You guys make me keep going, because I know I'm making a difference. That's all educators want, But by the time I hit, I don't know, 70 or 80, I don't think I'll be trading anymore, because why? Hopefully by then, well, I'm already happy monetarily, but hopefully by then I can just teach. But I won't be able to trade, because physically you're not fit enough. I think Sonny should understand this factor. I mean, you can't be a police officer
SMS.
forever. You can only do it while you can still run, because there's always going to be somebody who's running, right? For one stupid reason or another. Okay. I digress. Charble says, how much you risk per trade with your TF? I'll risk, depending on, I probably risk between $500 to $1,000, but that's because I only take one or two trades. So my mindset is like this. If in just not too long ago, during COVID, 2 months ago, you will see me take like 10 trades, and all of them will be like roughly $200 or $300 risks. But very easily, 3 of the trades could be bad, and I'll be down over $1,000. But then it'll make up by all the green trades, right? Out of 3 trades. So now instead of only picking all the good trades,
SNX.
I'm only picking unicorns. I'm picking the greatest trades ever that I've seen, and so I can increase my success rate and also increase my risk. So that's one of the reasons why I don't share my trading platform streaming, because I don't want people throwing in, just because I have the student count, throwing the same amount of shares I do, because I do have a higher drawdown due to all the profits that I've accrued into the account. So my drawdown's higher than 8,000 for sure. Yeah, green is green, Mahmood. Marksman asks, what's your method to stop revenge trading or conscious of not over risking and over position? I've been trading for a long time and still do it. Well, the first thing I do is use my chart. You've seen this chart all the time. I post up here. The stop losses. So, I have $200 as my max, but I may double it to tell me what's a $400 stop loss for a perfect trade or more. Revenge trading is always hard, Marksman. if I break 1,000 draw, if I have a $1,000 red day, it doesn't matter what happens. I'm gonna shut it down because my mindset's gonna be a little bit messed up. It's always gets to that point, right? Say if you're using TEFS, you could do a withdrawal on the 15th or on the 10th, and then it gets transferred on the 15th. Basically, you reset your drawdown, and when that happens, if you do a full reset on your drawdown, then you really don't want to mess up the very first next day, right? You don't want to start off red, so things get a little bit difficult. So prospectively, right now I have over $15,000 drawdown. I don't mind messing up $1,000. But if I do, I gotta shut it down. That's just how I have to give myself that discipline. And that's another thing a lot of traders don't have. I'm not saying you don't have. I'm not saying you don't have discipline, but I'm just saying in general, everybody has this issue because we don't like to fail. At least I don't. So you always have to draw that line and make sure you abide by it. So the one of the biggest things right now when I started teaching these older people, my family friends, how to trade, I really limited my risk. So make sure you trade as tight as possible. Not when I say tight, I'm not saying the small sizes. I'm saying make sure it fits all your parameters. If it doesn't, let it go. Don't get caught up in that FOMO mentality, the fear of missing out. Just take the ones that you know work. And if it goes without you, it goes without you. There's no lesson learned. If you want to teach yourself to be more slutty and take on every relationship you see, then go for it. But by then you better minimize your risk, right? You better be sure that you're protecting yourself. But if you pick the perfect trades, then you have less to worry about. You get to bring up your risk. Marksman says, a long-term swing trader, it takes weeks to play out, but I'm off today in my mental state and would monitor the active position. What if I'm more a long swing trader and it takes... Marksman, I really don't know how to answer that question because when I swung trade, I really didn't have that much emotion in play, unless I lost a lot. How would I monitor the active position? Have a playbook. Make sure you write down everything that you usually do, and judge from there. That way you can get the emotions out, or you can focus better with emotions. Yeah. So whenever I look at a trade like this right here, shell, and, a lot of people have already been shouting shell because it is a good setup, right? And it has all these. The reason why I wouldn't take it, so I would ask myself, why would I not take something that looks this good? Well, for me, it's because it's getting late, right? And it's already noon Eastern time, and it does every time it goes up, which is pretty big. It keeps doing these stupid resets, these small resets, that really relieves itself of that elasticity that I want. So it hit 21.49. Another reason, it may want to try for 21.50. And a lot of times that's what happened right here, right? It's tried again. So it's looking really good, except it's done for me. I would not short this because of this candle right here, if this candle's real or an outlier. Pretty sure it's not an outlier because Thinkorswim's charting is really good. Yeah, it's not. This is a really strong rejection wick, right? So I'm just saying, always trying to find a reason why you wouldn't take it, and then if you can't find a reason, then start raising your risk. That seems to work out. I'm just saying this is how I have my playbook. So write down your playbook and as thorough as possible. Go down the list. Check off everything in the boxes. Then you can eliminate some of the your emotional thoughts that may interfere with what you're trying to you know trying to do. Like, my brother is the same way. He's ready to retire, Sonny, in the police department. I mean, it's just too much politics, right? It's just too much. I can honestly say, uh, there's no better time than right now to be Asian, other than being uh, accused of bringing in COVID. I, man, all my life I wanted to be white, honestly, up to middle school, because in the school I was in the suburbs, it was like less than 1% Asian. It was all white. So I always wanted to be white. But now I'm like, I'm kind of glad being Asian right now. I don't care if you think I brought in COVID. Just say it to my face. I'm not, I see your post, Sonny. I'm not going to show it. Okay. Uh, Nelson says, I get that with $100 red days. I was there. And, it was just, it feels like yesterday that man, $100 red day is it would piss me off as well. You all ever get that feeling when you lose 100? What's another 200? If you lose 500, what's 800? Right? It just tumbles from there. Marksman says, taking out actual profit. I don't have discipline when I make money. I just see it was unrealized gain and I risk money or more risk. Wow. That is a different mindset, Marksman. But in retrospect, what you say, I mean, I really got to see what you're talking about, but what you say does make sense, adding to a good position. Or maybe it's starting to get overextended, right? If if the RSI is in the middle and not extreme anymore, I don't know. Sonny asks, how do you know Newbie Trader? Well, Newbie Trader is Jeremy Newbie. Jeremy Newbie is a friend of mine. So back in the days when I started vlogging for personal use and publicized it on YouTube, that's when I started getting kind of popular because I was one of the only people doing that. And I wasn't trying to do that just to build followers, although I did notice that very quickly that people wanted to see me fail because I was a counter trender and not a trend is your friend kind of guy. That's just YouTube. I started building a lot of following on YouTube just because I was posting every single day. At that point, I was just trying to show my dad trying to convince him that day trading worked for me because he thought it was gambling, and from there he understood it worked out, and then on there I offered anybody to Skype me because people started asking me how I trade or what my strategy was, and Jeremy was one of them. He Skyped me and he told me that he liked the way I traded and he wanted to learn my strategy, and I'm pretty sure he was already trading by then, and he just wanted help. So I offered help to people, and he was one of the people that wanted just to fine tune his trading strategy, and so I would often start throwing prospective trades with him, and that's how, that's how it pretty much worked out. So part of me feels like, and I think he feels that way too, that he was a student of mine, and now he's a really heavy hitter in the market. He's doing great. So I would put him as one of my successful students. The Mahmood Daily Tube Show says playbook is a good idea. I made a book. Oh, you broke the rules and paid the price. Oh, that sucks. Nelson says I'm a newbie. Oh, cool. Now, just to make sure everyone understand, newbie trading, it does not mean does not mean a new trader. .com. Newbie is Jeremy Newbie's last name. So that was a big confusion when people thought that newbie trading was my platform, but in actuality, it was my website, but in actuality, it was somebody's last name. Jeremy's last name actually. So I'm just coming back to help him out because I have nothing else to do. I have no dogs to train because of COVID. Big Boy Blue says I have an issue where I hold on for too long because I follow popular advice and books to get out slow, but it seems biting me back. Yeah, I really feel like when you start reading stuff, or when people start saying stuff, obviously the strategy in itself is easy, right? Anybody can do the strategy. It's how you execute it. And I can say my strategy over and over again, and there will be people that are successful and there are people that fail. Same with breakout trading. Ross can make breakout trading look like it's the easiest thing and most logical thing ever, but when you try it out, it's hard, right? It's not the same thing because there's too much human nature. It's basically human behavior. So if you're doing swing trading, the one thing we need to understand is right now is COVID, right? What are people thinking? We need to foresee how are we thinking right now? So right now, Democrats and science is showing that there's a big rise right now, right? So the fear is rising. So just you need to keep that into perspective when it comes to just the technical setups. We need to understand what's going to ruin our technical setup, and to me that's the issue. So I foresee the market possibly going down. So there's going to be some weight.
LED's getting up to the high, $3.90, up 14% on LEDs.
Do you think exiting at a conservative target is more profit? Yes, I do think that exiting earlier. Never take home runs. I never take home runs. You're talking to somebody who's always being accused of being a scalper. So I don't take home runs. I'll go in larger and I'll get out earlier. And for me, because I'm a counter trender, the elasticity is still there, still a little bit there when I exit. So I may miss out on a lot of the fade outs, but that movement down was very strong. So I rarely get hurt from that. Mark Smith says I went up 7K and all unrealized profit got wiped out. Well, I'm glad you're still alive, Marksman. I'm glad you didn't shoot yourself, because I would probably think about it personally if it was me. Thanks, big boy. That means a lot to me. I really feel like I really hope. I don't think I could make a huge difference with my small platform, and I don't mind being smaller. I can foresee big problems if I was if I had more subscribers. But I really hope that other people can emulate this, because I really feel like YouTube is doing a disservice a lot when it comes to trading. Too many people are trying to sell hype,
TWTR.
and you can hear it in the people's voices. I mean, a lot of these bastards sound like car salesmen. It's not. It's not. That's not the game. This is not the game to be a car salesman. Hey Sivan, how much cost your lessons to be your student? I don't have a package. I'm not selling anything. Honestly, at this moment, I'm really hoping that this COVID issue goes away so I can start teaching dogs again. I don't want to leave all y'all high and dry, but that's personally what I'm hoping for. If that never happens, look at Tortoise. It's moving up pretty nicely again. Nice breakout. That's awesome. Probably aiming for 22. Sorry, I digress. Yeah, if I ever do pick up coaching, that's probably because either I found a way to find more time, or I gave up on building my facility. But I'm still looking for land. If I build my facility and it's up and running nice and smoothly and I have extra time, then yeah, I'd love to coach. That would be great. In which case, I would just charge a certain amount just to get rid of people who don't really care about learning. So I'm assuming like $50 a month or something that doesn't hurt too much. Just something to weed out the people that don't really want to learn, or just are in it just to, you know. Marksman says, I underestimate the power of position sizing. When it goes up, it always seems amazing, but when it goes against, I freeze like a deer in the headlights, and I don't think. Yeah, I'm the same way, Marksman. When things go down, like I said, like if you lose 100, what's 200? If you lose 200, what's 400? You know, it just kind of gets out of hand. Especially, if you're bipolar like me and you're on your high day, everything seems happy even when you're down 2,000. But you gotta have a playbook. No, nothing to be sorry about, Nelson. It's all good. Twitter's dumping? Wow, Twitter is dumping. What's going on with Twitter, guys? Was I talking over Charlie? Oh, Facebook and Twitter? Facebook and Twitter. Halt. Oh, Unilever to halt U.S. ads. Oh, Unilever.
PDS Biotechnology. Chardin.
For the rest of 2020.
TWTR.
Data for its developing SARS-CoV-2 program based on its Versamium technology platform. Company will presenting an exclusive on Tuesday with Chardin. That's Papa Delta Sandy Bravo PDSB.
Unilever is a huge company. Okay, let's see if we can figure out where this could go.
Shares of PDSB.
Sonny, you should.
Spiking here on that report, $1.87.
There's a gap fill right now on
33%, that's Papa
Twitter.
Delta Sandy Bravo.
I probably should be looking at Facebook with Twitter to see which one's going to be sympathizing with who. But look at that volume spike, guys, on the 1 minute. If you are... This is starting to look kind of interesting. I would look for a solid 1 minute trigger on this one.
TWTR.
Setting up my shares right now.
COCP, Co-Crystal getting a pop here.
It's already closing the gap.
COCP.
This one's risky, guys, because of the news. But that volume right there most likely is for that 29 breakdown. So let's see if it needs to relieve itself. Okay, I'm in a little bit of this. Wow, look at that dump. Okay. That was scary. 1 second. Still in it. Stop at lower day. Somebody really doesn't want this to go, so I'm just looking for that blue line. Oh, it's trying so hard. Okay. Okay, I'm out. Just because of that. It's just trying a little too hard there. You know, this is just, see, this is where I get accused for scalping, but you see how the volume started rising here? That doesn't mean it's not going to go, but I generally want something just to fade in volume, not to rise in volume. So that was a, you know, that was a scalp of $172. Oh, I'm sorry. It was a long, Peter. Sorry, I didn't have a chance to answer. Nice call out, Sonny. I'm surprised you didn't post it on the in the feed, the Discord. And there it goes. It hits the 1 minute. You know, like I said, I'm not going to look for home runs. This is a really bad news. So in my opinion, this is going to be a reset for a move back down. Possibly, I don't know, because I can't find a trend line on the daily, except way down low, in the lower 28s, I think. Okay. Marksman says he's trying to take home run trades on corn futures. Corn? I don't know much about futures, but I didn't know corn had its own futures. That's cool. That's corny. Okay. AFI. Look at it go, guys. It's still going. AFI. Oh, AFI did go, didn't it? Wow, that's so thin, though. Well, it just popped down like that. When did you post this? I'm late, aren't I? Mahmood asked, when was the last time you had a red month? I don't know. It's been a long time. A red month. Years. I can't even remember. I don't think I'd have had a red month.
Priced at $17 stock structure form, Sandy, November.
Hey, anytime, Sivan. Twitter might support at 200 SMA. What is the 200 SMA? I don't have it marked. But I'm already out, so.
Shares of Fusion now at 18.11.
Yeah, Peter, I was doing a bottom bounce. Sorry, I didn't clarify. What was the news, Augustine? Unilever is not having any ads on Facebook and Twitter anymore for the entire year.
CLGX CoreLogic confirmed receipt of unsolicited acquisition proposal from Canay Holdings and Senator Investment Group. That's Charlie Lima Golf X-Ray, CLGX.
Derek says there's futures for the weather.
Shareholders advised to take no action pending.
I don't know what to think about that. I was shorted.
That's CLGX and CNN.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Just throwing that out there. Wow, I don't know how that happens. Obviously, I got out of Twitter too early, but that one volume spike scared me. 'Cause I'm chicken. But it did hit me in the 500 area finally. That's good.
Shares of CoreLogic now at 66.37. That's above the $65 offer the company has.
A friend Levi says that look at Day Trade the World.
Charlie Lima Golf X-ray, Charlie November.
If you ever stop trading for TradeNet, their commission is very cheap with no ticket cost. What? And I assume they don't have PTDs. Day Trade the World. Let's see. Costs. So they have different packages.
KNDI, Candy Technologies,
Lowest trading fees.
Here on a spike in volume. KNDI.
Okay, I'll definitely look into that.
65.
So Levi suggested to look at this. Day Trade the World. So equities, you get 90% or 89% of your cut, which is good. How to start. So this is just like TradeNet. They take a profit of your, so interesting. And these are their packages. So what I want to know is, what's your leverage? Okay, I'll look into that a little bit more. Thanks, Levi. That looks interesting. If you're a trend trader, right now is possibly a good time to short Twitter. But you know, I'm not into like the second move. So I missed out on what? Like 13 cents? That's a lot of money. But you know, just take what you can. Look at these small caps, guys. PDSB. Look at these runners. And Shell is still, see, that tortoise thing is just really hard to read, guys. I mean, it probably will reverse, but wow, that's just too much for me. That'll just make me angry. The moon. Yeah. It just sounds funny when you say a turtle is going to go to the moon. Literally, when you in the beginning of the stream when you said tortoise to the moon, I'm thinking like, is that a book? Is that a children's book? Because they can't be sending a tortoise into outer space, can they? I don't know. Why not? Hey, text rating. So sorry I've been asking before. No problem. But have you ever day traded options? You know, that is the one question I haven't received in a long time. Probably because I've been asked a lot in the past, but I answered no, and I think everyone just stopped asking. We have similar strategies, but I trade options on the beta names. That's awesome. I'm at the cusp
BLRX,
of
Fireline RX,
thinking about
behind,
looking into
Eagle,
options.
Bravo Lima Romeo.
Look at that
X-ray.
breakout on SHLL. I have a few followers that switched over to options and they're doing really well. They say that they're using my strategy. I don't know much about options at all, except when that latest news about that young man that committed suicide for thinking he lost 700,000 in options, I felt like I really need to dive into options just to know what they're talking about, you know. So yeah, I think there in the near future, when I have time, I probably will start looking into options. I don't know if I'll trade it, but to my trading friends, it seems like everybody still think options is good. I mean, I know someone who one of the same people I spoke about earlier. He'll scalp during the day and he'll start doing options later in the day. I'm not sure if there's a reason for that, but he does that religiously. DNB throws in it's bad for day trading. Okay.
Now 22.80 on Sandy Hotel Lima Lima.
Cool. Well, you're countering some big names. Yeah, I think my streaming is starting to get a little bit delayed. I can see my mouth move on different times. It gets that way sometimes. That's why if you during the weekdays, I may be in the lobby on the Discord app, and I'll stream from there where there is literally zero lag. So, but when I'm streaming here, we don't talk much. I mean, as much. All I do is try to announce what I see and answer a few questions. Eugenia, no, I was asking on purpose. I didn't think you were asking on accident. I'm probably misunderstanding you. Sorry. Options on beta names are extremely liquid. Okay? I think it takes about a month to understand how options work. Really? Wow. Then I don't think I'll ever do options. I don't have that kind of time. Somebody teach me in a day, and I'll think about it. I'm a fast learner, I think. What I usually what I always say to people is a good teacher is a better learner. Smart people are horrible teachers, right? They'll just wonder how come you can't get it. It just it's just that way. Don't Why are you asking that kind of question? You know, that's a horrible learner. That, you know, but a good learner is someone who studies things thoroughly and understand the ins and outs and why things go the way they do. I mean, the delay of the stream, it looks like the prices were behind, but maybe it was just me. No, you're right. The stream is behind. Generally, YouTube can, over time, if the stream goes for hours. So right now, I've been streaming for 2 hours. It has been known to be delayed up to like 30 seconds, which is like pretty horrible if I'm going to do a call out on a trade. I don't like options. It gets liquid worse than trading it. What's illiquid? Is that a word? It is a word. Illiquidity. Illiquid. Okay, I learned something new. Shameless plug, but I make videos how I day trade options if you really want to learn. Yeah, I'll learn text trading. I'll look you up. Yeah, I'm always down to learn something as long as I can do it in a day. So, I don't know. I'll look into it. Text trading. That's easy to remember. I live in Texas. Look at that volume spike, guys. That looks like it is suggesting it's done. No, you're not spamming. I don't mind at all. I definitely don't mind somebody from another YouTube channel chiming in. Ivan was in the chat. I don't know how to search it. Let me try to find you, Ivan. He asked a question I didn't answer. My wife tells me that I often misunderstand people in the chat. So I apologize for that. Ivan, can you try if well, he probably can't hear me right now. Blue horseshoe trading. I see Big Boy Blue. I don't see it.
Senna.
Guys, if you haven't already, please do me a big favor and click that like button and subscribe and notification tab. Did you? Thanks, man. It really helps a lot on the YouTube, and you know, I need to eat. Yes, smash it. I don't know where that term came from. so violent. Hey, interesting. I have a friend that's saying he's typing in the stream and I don't even see it. Humble trader. Oh yeah, I do watch her stuff. She's fun. Um, mm,
NBY, Nova Bay shares at the highs now $1.19.
I like how she explains things,
for NBY.
and I like how she puts light on. She takes things lightly. You know, she's not trying to sell anything, even though she does have her own. She is selling. She does have her own chat room, and she charges for it. Um, I honestly can't say if she's a real trader or not, but she knows what she knows. So that's all I can really say. Um, what do you mean by fine? I think my standards are a little bit higher than that. No, I didn't say that. She's good. She's okay. I didn't mean it like that. I don't know how to respond to that. Sonny, you're getting me in trouble.
Bravo Charlie. Sandy Papa Charlie Bravo says PCB.
Nice try, Sonny. I can see myself back there. But she is behind me though, because she's probably watching this right now. But she already knows. She already knows who she is. It's not my type. Hey Daniel, I missed the beginning. Does the TradeNet offer a different platform with the package now? TradeNet does have another platform, but they don't talk about it. I forgot what they call it, the exclusive. I don't know, but one person already chimed in and said that they used it and it takes some of the wicks out. I think some of those outliers. I personally haven't used it, so I really can't say, but I've only heard good things about it, and according to him, the moderators use it. So I'm sure it is better. I'm just really stubborn, and I really don't haven't even tried it. Maybe I should try. I should ask for it and try it this weekend. I've been asked on Skype, what's your average hold on a trade? Average hold? As in shares? Well, shares is relative, I guess. My average risk is between at this moment, considering that my approach has been fine-tuned to only trade greatness. I mean, really good-looking stocks, and I'll be risking possibly around $400 to $1,000. If it's a unicorn, I have no problem risking $1,000 for a possible $1,000 return. This weekend, I'll post the one that I said I was gonna post last week. I have a unicorn trade that I'm just saving for Sunday, so look forward to that. There's this one trade that just went perfect, the one I've been waiting for. I'll share it on Sunday. Did I answer your question,
FD.
Ivan? Facebook now is on. So let me just look at Twitter real fast. Now Twitter's sideways. Let's see, can't. This is what I mean, guys, by sh- bounces. Sometimes they. I mean, it went. I mean, I got what I wanted. Like I mentioned to Marksman, I don't seek home runs. I just take it while it's still has elasticity, and I got spooked a little bit by this volume, so I got out possibly early. But you see, this sideways action just really would play games. But Facebook now is diving. But look at that volume, guys. With a $2 move, yeah.
FB.
Okay, so my average trade is based on stops, not necessarily on like my buying power, but it is limited to the student package's $80,000 buying power. That's why I got that's why I use TradeNet when I trade streaming or when I have clients. But the next question is, if you have to go to plan B, okay. Back in the days, about 5 years ago when I used to teach it in a chat room, I used to have a plan B that I was really hesitant to talk about. And because when I showed my platform, every now and then I would have a plan B, and plan B would be averaging. And I never really doubled up or doubled down. Let's just say we're double downing. Say we're looking for a bounce, right? So it goes down, but it didn't work out, and then you'll add some more as it goes down. But then eventually your risk gets higher and higher on a trade that quite possibly could look worse and worse. So I never really double down. I average down, saying like looking at the daily trend line. So let's look at Facebook here. Maybe that can answer that question better.
Pence says U.S. government focused on rising cases in the South.
So this one's going down, right? And let's just say you went.
Standing request from the affected states.
Let's just say.
Says wants to continue.
Oh, this is good. Let's just say you went long here for a bounce, but it didn't go, right? And technically you get stopped out. If the spreads are really spready, I would average out, because what if it decides to do a fake out and go down to 1780 and then bounce back up? In that case, I would definitely average out and then jump back in if it still looks good. But of course, this one doesn't look great, except down here. This looks actually okay. Okay, because it consolidated right here. Honestly, at this moment, I never have a plan B anymore. So it's always going to be just about finding the right trade and cutting my losses. But of course, if the next trend line is really close and there's a spread on the level 2, then I would average out and get back adding some more if it still looks good. Another one would be if it was human error. Say you'll see it in the next video tomorrow that there was one where I got stopped out because I didn't abide by the high a day. I tried to find a stop somewhere closer to me to minimize my losses. But because I did that, I actually had to impromptu jump back in because I realized that I broke my own rule just to save a few bucks, but it didn't, right? It actually went. It was just a really dirty move to stop out the amateurs. So you'll always hear the pros say, what's one thing that helps you become more successful? And the answer is always put your stops farther away. But the problem with that is everyone on YouTube or social media will say, because they're trying to sell you something, will say that my risk reward is really good. You know, it's a 2-to-1 ratio. It's a 4-to-1 ratio, meaning that you could make 4 times and you could lose. You know, if you could make 40 cents and lose 10 cents and possibly lose 10 cents. But all of the people that I know and the people that get interviewed on YouTube that are like working for hedge funds will always tell you put your stops farther, because it's the amateurs that get stopped out by the pros, and then it'll go against you, right? So for me, it ends up being a 1-to-1 ratio, because especially with TradeNet, it forces you to put a stop further away, because you may get stopped out early. That's just TradeNet. So there's always that slippage. So it's always good to have that in mind. I think that answers your question, Ivan. I only took one trade GPS. Awesome. So that's the only one I took other than Twitter just now. Made $300. Nothing like you. Well, I only made $400. So we're in the same field. You probably stayed in longer than me, and I probably had more shares than you. So I think we're similar in that area. But yeah, a lot has changed, and a lot of it's based on my own mental state. It started off when I started looking back at my trades, and then knowing that, okay, I'm 90 percentile, and I'm still trading these trades that may only look okay, you know, they're B setups. But then I realized, like, I might as well just get rid of all the B setups and just only take A plus setups. So even though back then I would have possibly, you know, $500 to $1,000 days, but then every now and then I'll have like a -300, -400, you know, 1 out of 10 days at a 90 percentile. And then, but now it's like, I could either make 0 or I can make over 2,000. So it's still, the trade-off to me is better off, because I don't have to be sitting here for hours. I literally just trade a little bit in the morning, and then I can walk away if I really want to, because of that one trade. And I need to add that the times that I trade a dozen times, there are maybe 2 or 3 trades that go red, and that really is discouraging to the mindset. Big Boy Blue asked, do you believe in risking more for more appealing trading setups? Yes. And simply risking a percentage. That's a great question. That's the one that I'm always getting asked, because I think this is starting to become a trend thing. I don't know who brought this up, but something about that. Only trade 1 or 2%. You're only looking for a percentage per trade or something like that. To me, that's just way too simple. It's just way too simple. I mean, it doesn't. That's how everybody wants to do. We want numbers to make things more factual. But in real life, you already know, everyone's saying this is an A plus setup, this is A setup. There's different tiers of what fits your playbook. So then why would you risk 2% on a B setup when you should be risking 2% for an A plus setup, you know? So percentage is really relative to what you see. So to make things really simple, I only just trade the best looking setups I can. And if I can't find a single reason why not to take the trade, then what reason do you have to limit your to lower your risks? I mean, choosing the right trade is already lowering your risk. So you could actually trade more, use more shares on something like that, than just throwing around a few hundred shares because you're afraid of a good trade. It's because you're so used to being so loose that you're only trading 100 here, 100 there. But when you tighten up so much that you only trade the best looking setups, then you start getting the mindset that you can actually double your shares because this is the trade. This is the one that should go. And if it doesn't go, then it doesn't go. Make sure you know why, and make sure it's a good reason, because sometimes this is human nature after all. The stock market goes according to human behavior, so it's not like everything will go perfectly. So no one is ever going to be over 100%, close to 100% based on that fact alone. So yeah, I think that makes sense. In my video, I talk about how stock trading is like dating in a relationship, because both are based on human behavior. And one of the most important factors in life is finding or for a lot of people is being in a relationship. It's one of the most stressful things, right? So is stock trading. It's all encompassed in human behavior, and it's all relative to how the people feel. So let's just say I'm a guy and I'm single and I'm dating a girl. When you start off in high school or middle school, I don't know, I guess nowadays at elementary school, you don't know what you're looking for. So you're just picking anything you want, just to try it out. Either that, or you're going to be really timid and not pick anybody because you're afraid. Same with stocks. So either you just like paper trade and you just watch, but once you start realizing what you want, then you start taking risks on a brunette or a blonde, or it doesn't matter. You just see what you see, and if she looks really good, then you may take her out on a date. And then from there, it's about execution, right? It's about knowing exactly how to make her happy, or how to get, metaphorically, how to get in and out of that relationship. Or how to make that date work. So once you figure out you're better off finding the perfect relationship first, the perfect girl, and trying that relationship out, than trying a whole bunch of just girls that don't really fit your parameters, and then just trying that out, right? Would you risk a lot of money on a girl you know that you're going to only date for a few days? Or would you risk a lot on somebody that you know would work out just by looking at her and knowing her standards? It really fits in that situation. So I am looking for, an Asian, a brunette, someone who can take care of me, someone who loves dogs, somebody who can tolerate a cat, someone who isn't allergic to cats. I mean, I know exactly what I want because I'm married now, and that way, when it comes to dating or executions, I'm 90 percentile. We're happy. That's really how it works out. So start trading. I would suggest all of these people that are going in chat rooms and trying to figure out. I mean, everyone's throwing a whole bunch of ideas, but if you start tightening up to finding out what you want, some people like really long dates, and that's the same thing as a long entry and exit. So you're going to take your time with that stock, whereas I just want to find the extreme and just get in and out. Okay, I'm done talking.
Penn says young Americans, especially in the hardest southern states, need to help protect older adults.
It's like when you're passionate or you really know something really well, you can kind of start seeing it in all aspects of life. It really just comes down to that. I mean, I could say the same thing about arm wrestling, but really, stock trading is encompassed in the world of human behavior, and that is the same game as dating. Life in general is the stock market, so this. The reason the American market is always going up is because of America's optimism. We've been in debt forever. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. The stock market will still always go up. So it really is based on how we think. So COVID was a nice hit, so it went down, obviously. But did you expect it to go up that much, like 80%? I mean, it's ridiculous that how optimistic people get. And now we're still optimistic. You know, we still have these hotspots. I'm stuck in one, Texas, right now. What else? Las Vegas, Florida. Where our numbers have tripled in cases, and yet, you know, we're not shutting down. We're done with that. We're optimistic, and you know, I don't mind either way. I'm still gonna just chill, but I still, you know, I don't have any you know, political stand on any of this. All I'm saying is the facts. That optimism really is how Americans are. But when something goes bad, it goes bad, and that's why things may not bounce as well. But optimism, it hits you like a brick in the face, and then people realize I know I gone too far. Let's back up a little bit. So it's all the same. ALSN looks pretty interesting. 3-cent spread. It's wiki though. It has all these rejection wicks back and forth. No true signal on the volume just yet. Maybe later. Thanks, Nelson. I gotta be careful with these analogies. Eugene says, but you are shutting down news today. Oh, really? That's not a bad thing. I have a emotional issue with people telling me what to do. I think all of us traders do. Well, that may be one reason why we trade, right? We don't want a boss. I don't like how people can tell me. I mean, just the thought of someone saying, you can't go out makes me really uncomfortable, you know. But I mean, you can tell me to wear a mask and I'll wear a mask because I know it's for my own good. I'll do anything that I think is correct.
ALSN.
But it wasn't too long ago that the news was touting to not wear a mask, right? What kind of BS is that? So I don't. Whatever. But thanks for the heads up. It's a pause to opening. Yeah, that's a big difference, Eugene. So we're pausing. So it's still optimism, right? Considering that the numbers have risen, Texas won't shut down because we're all about the economy. It's capitalism, which I totally understand. I mean, I don't want to shut down, but I really hope that everybody understands the severity of their actions, right? But you know, you can't teach common sense nowadays. That seems to be the one thing that the newer generation may be lacking in their or our generation is lacking in teaching our newer generation. I don't know. I better shut up before I get demonetized. Daniel says, if the A+ setup is going wrong, how do you end it with the minimum loss? It is always will hit the stop. It will hit the stop loss. How do you end up just down with 100 down? That's a good question. I think when things go really well, I never let it go against me. When something looks perfect, then even though I set my stop at the very high or low, I'm still monitoring it, and I may exit early, but you just have to let it go. Sometimes if you see me have like $100 win or a loss, it's because I made up for it for the second entry. But I haven't shown any of that lately. Generally speaking, the second entries will always get me back into the green. Is that what you said? 100? No, you said 100 down. So I'm not sure which one you're talking about, but I do understand the factor. And this is something that Ross Cameron, I know, used to do. Um, that's where a lot of people can't follow him because the followers that follow him on a red trade end up being a lot more red than him, regardless of the amount of shares, right? You could be in 1,000 shares, he could be in 5,000 shares, and yet he'll be down $100, and they'll be down, $5,000. So it's a matter of that's exaggerating, but you get the idea. If a trade goes against me on something that's supposed to have gone immediately, if you have no reason why it's going against you, then and it's starting to get blown by the wind, then still I would put my stop at the top, because that's a good question, Daniel. I don't know how to answer that one. Can you if you could show me the trade that I did, that I was only down $100, then I could probably answer it better. But generally speaking, if it was an A+ setup and it went against me, it's going to be a pretty bad loss. Except for the fact that A+ setups generally don't go fully against me. So sometimes you'll still see me make that amateur move or, executive decision of setting my stop closer just to minimize my loss. But A+ setups that go against me, generally I go again, because that A+ setup may turn into a setup because it faked me out. So then I'll enter again, and then that's when I minimize my losses or actually become green. You'll see that in the video tomorrow, where I talk about the other new shape that I talk about. Generally, I'm always looking for the ramp up, right? And then I come back down. But lately, you see me trade Hertz, or those really extreme moves based on rumor, where it just pops straight up, one huge 1 minute candle, and then it just curls down, right? I think Sunny just pointed one out today, where what was this? Kin.
Eric says remdesivir has been reallocated and restored to U.S. states experiencing
Where it popped up on news and then it came back down. So this is textbook for the those kind of halt news breakout. So rumor had it to break up here. It's up for us to identify where to enter. I mean, where it's going to go before you enter, and then you enter on a 1 minute, and it goes a little bit against you, and then it goes. So these are another shape that I'm going to show tomorrow in the video that I'm probably going to take. Marksman, horses, and cowboys. Yeah, horses and cowboys. Common sense is a value commodity. It's not for sale. Yeah, exactly. My sister-in-law was mentioning that when you get hired, they don't really even care for in her line of business, which is in the law firm of an engineering company, Schlumberger. I think it's Schlumberger. Where when they all they really wanted was common sense. That's priority amongst your skill set. If you have common sense, then you're most likely going to get hired more than the person that has zero common sense, right? Peter asks, what is considered an A+ setup for trading? For a long trade, okay. As in going long. Well, then for me, for a counter trader, that'll be a bottom bounce. So it will be the same thing as a short setup, but the inverse, right? So for a long trade, I want it to go down steeply. I want it to at least hit a trend line. I need it to have an elevation, a ramp in volume. I need a volume spike at the very end, at the very bottom of that the chart, and then I will enter on a 1 minute. I don't want any resets between the green candles. I mean, in between the red candles. So as it's going down, I don't want it to reset a bit on a green, If it does, then it may take away a little bit of its value. But as long as it's trending down, then and it has a volume spike as it's ramping, it'll come back up at least a little bit. Um, yeah, that's more or less. And then you have to be able to find that daily
Document
trend line.
security systems getting, document
Um,
security shares getting a pop here, 884 DSS.
How many minutes of ramping up? Or you mean how many minutes downwards? A lot. Multiples. Um, that's hard to tell. It really depends. I mean, like I just mentioned about how there's news spikes or news drops. If it ramps down really fast, then it's going to violently move up. If it ramps down, like say at a 45-degree, and then it changes its rate of its angle or rate of change at the very end, then you can expect a small ramp up. That is a good question, but definitely a good one would be maybe over over 10 minutes of green candles. I mean red candles for on the way down, and you really need to have the ALSLN actually went, guys. Ivan was calling that out right there, but like I wouldn't have gotten this one because of the volume, just being real. There was no volume signal for me, so this could be potentially be a fade. But yeah, that's so this one to me is okay because it didn't have the volume. That's how I know. Ramp up. How many minutes of ramp up? The moment you're in the green on the ramp on the move. Oh, you mean the volume? Well, it's the same thing. 5 to 10 minutes is good. For that rate of change. How you identify a peak? Are you talking about a long or a short? If I'm identifying a peak, then I'm going short, right? So I identify the peak. Okay, let's just talk about shorts then, because that's generally what I'll be doing. When it's ramping up, I want that volume to spike up, and as it approaches the exhaustion point. So you're asking where is that exhaustion point? I need it to get to a certain area on the daily chart. If I can find a trend line on the daily chart that I think is going to try to exhaust itself towards, then it adds to my conviction that it may get rejected there and it go back down. Yeah, that's the same thing as a bottom bounce. And my exit would most likely be where it starts losing its elasticity. So in this case, on the 1 minute chart, this elasticity is already gone, right? It's following the blue line, which is my 9 EMA. Now, generally speaking, if the stock is moving really slow, then my 9 EMA would be looking at it on the 5 minute time frame as it approaches there. But lately, I never do that because the stocks that I look at are so violent, are moving so fast that the 1 minute chart is already showing a lot of elasticity, but this one doesn't show any really. BSIG. What is that? Oh, what the heck happened to BSIG?
BSIG, Assuration Generali's spot in talks to acquire Brightspear Investment Group, BSIG, that according to Reuters. Bravo Sandy, India Gulf.
I'm too late on this one, but this one, yeah, didn't have time to. Very nice, Sunny. BSIG. This one's a little bit dirty on the chart on the day. What the heck is that? What did I do?
BSIG shares spiking to 1095 at the high. Bravo Sandy Indigo.
Okay. Yeah, we missed it. It went up to here, which is okay because it kind of touched here, but it didn't touch 11. It got really close to 11. It got close enough. Yeah, this one's tricky. So I would have missed this one, regardless.
Burks says social distancing and wearing a mask will help curb the spread.
And what's that face, Artie? What does the reset look like? Let's ask. What does the reset look like that would cause you to reject? Okay. Okay, this is just me, okay? So I'm gonna let this one go. But good call. I needed to get it. I really wish. Yeah, this one's done. This one, yeah, I don't know if I would have traded this one regardless, because the 1 minute trigger is so far away now. I would have wished it to be up there. So it would have been like more like a feel. Just get in as it approached 11:05. That's where the entry would have been. So CBLI is kind of a good idea of what was asked. Let's ask, what does the reset look like that will cause you to reject? So let's just say like these right here. Let's just say this one was ramping up. See how there is volume here, right? And it's moving on up as it break out. But any candles for a reset, like these right here, these are resets. Now, a lot of people confuse this whole linear area right here has all resets.
BCRX.
That's when you know it's going to be just trending, because those resets help it to continue its trend. Otherwise, it'll catch my eye, and it'll possibly reverse. So those people that want, those traders that want it to stay, have a linear movement, would always want, you know, the common up and down movement trending. That's what a reset is. Now there are reversal people that aim for those resets. And that's not me, because those are tiny bits of the big picture that could catch you. You know, someday it's not going to reset, and then, yeah, pull back. Exactly, Johnny. Thank you. So I'm never looking for that real pullback. I'm looking for a huge extension. Okay, here's a good one right here, right here. Here's a good example. So this one has a few resets here, right? Here's one, and then it moves back up. So this one was tricky, wasn't it? But this volume is really suggesting that it wants to, it's slamming on its brakes. It's showing that it wants to, it's pretty exhausted right here. And it's a lot more than this morning, but volume-wise. So for some reason, it's getting to a point where it's pushing up. But the reason why this isn't going to be a great setup in my book is because of these resets here. Unless it really spikes high, like all the way up here, and then it'll come down.
California latest cases, COVID cases lowest plus 2.5% increase.
Yeah,
Total
BCRX
deaths
was nice.
Plus 1.4%
Eugene.
increase. That's the latest data for today out of California.
Sonny, I'll definitely look into your scanner. It looks interesting. Is that turtle still going to the moon? Yes, Peter. That's when the volume starts peaking, then then it's possible run up.
TBIO.
It's a possible exhaustion. Now that's volume is the main indicator for me to identify if it's going to if it's a area of interest. I think I can see it, Sunny. You know, just squint a little bit more. But yeah, if you could email it to me, let me just try later on, and then if I can't see it, I'll send you my email, or you know, there's no reason why I shouldn't send you an email. What is Artie doing? Is that your Black Lives Matter face? But I like your yellow one. Yellow lives matter too. For real, I'm gonna get demonetized. Better stop talking. Oh, it's the moon? There's no black moon. Is that a new moon? Silly. Where is, oh right, you're right, shell. It is to the moon, right? So I mean, I would not short this because, oh, here's a really good example right here. These are all resets. So here's a really good example of what I would truly avoid to short, regardless of how ridiculous it looks on the daily here. A lot of people would just keep checking up on it and say, well, look how high it is. It has to come back. Yeah, it does look like it needs to come back, but if we can't figure out a place because it keeps resetting like this, I would truly avoid this because there are stocks that really can kill you. I think not too long ago I had a friend that almost blew up his account on mRNA when they talked about a vaccine, and it had the same movement. Even if this starts becoming parabolic, and now if I bunch this up like this, it kind of looks like it is about to go parabolic. It's going to be very difficult to find the actual entry for a short on this, you know.
That's GN US.
BSIG. Did I just see that one? Oh, look at that! Look at that rejection for a fly back up.
Brand's getting a pop here.
Okay.
$2.51.
Did it hit the 11.5? It passed up 11.5. That's the area. That's the area we were talking about. 11.5. Now this is starting to look pretty interesting, right?
Grant says the number of people in ICU units down to 634 versus 651 on
Yes, I see it, Ivan. Thanks. Now, depending on how this thing looks, I mean, I want that U shape, you know. I don't want it. I don't want for a 1 minute trigger. You really want it to be like not too far away. You don't want it to spike down and then take the entry. So it kind of hit that area, right? That 11.5. We went a little bit past that, and it spiked back up. Setting up my shares. Don't exactly know what's going to happen until it happens, so
FMCI for merger getting a pop here. 1786 Foxtrot Michael Charlie
you
India.
can kind of see what I'm talking about here. All these areas, it's really heavy in that area.
FMCI.
Ooh, look at that pop. Almost. It actually did trigger on ones, but it's still spiking. It's still trying. This one's really dirty. With a 4-cent spread. But you see the daily, and you see how how strong that area is. Next stop is 1120s, which we're almost there. So we're right in between two very strong trendline areas. I was asking my conviction on BSIG right now. It's good. It'll never be great because of this huge reset, unless it goes a lot farther. But it's good.
Fauci says states that have already recovered, such as New York, could still be vulnerable to more future cases.
FMCI, FMCI, FMCI.
FMCI ramping.
Secretary Azar says
Foxtrot,
focuses on community
Mike,
testing
Charlie,
and
India.
community-based intervention.
Right now, as it's moving up, it's getting more interesting. At 80%. Ivan's asking my conviction. Okay, now it's moving to that other area. It passed up that other area. Volume's low. Good. Now the next area to be worried about is 12. So, okay, my cat's telling me not to trade this one. I'm focusing, boy. I'm gonna take my hand off the trigger right now because it's still moving. And if it goes down from here, then I won't take it because this is one big green candle. And it needs to like get stuck up there a little bit. Maybe 11.5. I really truly believe animals can sense your blood pressure.
WKHS getting a pop here. Whiskey Kilo Hotel Sandy, 9:48 now. WKHS.
But he's not concerned about me. He's concerned about his stomach.
CHMA Chiasma announcing FDA approval of my Capsa
Okay.
capsules, the first and only oral
Not yet. Don't go yet.
tosatin analog.
Maybe. Good.
That's CHMA, Charlie Hotel Michael Alpha.
Let's see if it goes down.
Shares were halted ahead of that news
What's
on
halted?
CHMA.
I may be shorting soon.
Chiasma says plans to
Yeah,
scale
I'm
up
shorted.
its customer-facing team in sales, patient services, and market access to about 45 employees.
Only aiming for somewhere around here, on the 11-12 area. Let me put my cat down. Okay, I'll be right back, David.
Of that FDA approval announcement.
Stopped out. There goes the 12. Yeah, there's the 12. 12 move is right around the corner, guys.
BSIG, Bright Spear, more up new highs now 1174. Bravo Sandy India Golf. Report that Italy's Generali in a bid to acquire Bright Spear from Reuters earlier.
Oh,
Bravo Sandy.
there is
India
news
Golf.
on BSIG. Just wait for it, guys. Okay, there's that 12 area. Mhm. What did it get to? 1198? Let's see if this consolidates a bit. Okay, break over. Ivan says 1250. Yes, I'm looking to short it, Eugene. This is looking, now this is looking really good. See that volume ramp right there? Shorting a little bit here. Fake out. This looks like one of those that are going to go really high and then start fading. This is the one that... Yeah, it's a Benzinga Pro. Or no, it's just Benzinga Squawk on Thinkorswim. Look at that volume spike, guys. I think this could be the area. Let's wait for the 1 minute trigger. There it is. Almost. See how this one is like far away from the high day now. But it does look good, doesn't it? This could get messy. There's a little bit of mess right there. Watching the level 2. There it goes. Ivan's adding. Now it's got to break down through this area. There you go. Now it's hitting the 1 minute 9 EMA. Now it's going to get a little choppy. That's poop. No, and that's when I said I was going to, when things get choppy, that's when I like start panning around on different areas of the time frame just to see where it could go. So this is what it looks like on the 5 minute. So could it go down to 11.5? Possibly, if it fades. So we'll see about that. But meanwhile, like I said, when things go like this, I'm going to start pacing around because there's no reason just to wait for something like this. It's just going to go eventually. So I'm going to leave this stream running. I'm going to cap this because I don't want you all to see me walking around in circles. Yeah, Sunny is using Daniel, and Sunny's using a Thinkorswim. It looks like it's working for him. So I'll try it out, and then if you don't mind, Sunny, or you, Sunny, Daniel's actually on the Discord, so you can share it with him if you like. But I'm definitely gonna try it out, and then shout out to you when I show everyone that it works out well. But I'm gonna take another lap because this thing's taking forever. Hey Jibbles. Where were you? TP? I don't know what TP stands for, but I'm probably not going to scale out. I'm still aiming for possibly the 1150 area, but it's working out okay. I'll take profits. Um, Either I'm gonna be breaking even, or I'm just gonna wait for it to go past 1175 and then figure it out from there. Let's see. What I'm really looking at is this right here. See this area right here, the 1188. As long as it doesn't get blown around, you know. But it doesn't look like that. It looks like it's going to be one of those typical fades, and it's just going to continue on fading. So this is a good place because you see how it touches the 90 MA and these 2-minute candles. That's being conservative, you know. On the 5-minute, there's a lot of room down to the 1150. So at the moment, I'm just being conservative. So we'll see. Gonna take another lap. Okay, there's the breakdown. But you see that volume spike right there? That's generally what something would just spook me out. So hopefully it goes down a little bit more. Ooh, someone using the 20 EMA. Interesting. Jibbles use the 20 EMA. Okay. Yeah, this pullback, this green candle is expected because of the amount of effort it took for it to go down. So yeah, I'm out on this one. I went a little bit heavy on this one, and then you heard me average in, so My average was like what is it? 12. Well, actually, it's not bad. It's actually a 1207. But then this one is the fader, guys, and I just don't do those. Typically, from what I've noticed in the past, these may go down to VWAP. So 1150, 1140s, if you're small and you're comfortable, then stick with it. But personally, like I said, I'm already green for the day. There's no reason for me to just keep taking risks. Yeah, buyers will. Yeah, they stepped in at the 20. Yeah, so your 20 actually worked out really well. Thanks, man. It was this was kind of scary, honestly. See, these candles just have huge range, depending on how you play it. Here's we missed out on ALSN. I shouldn't say miss out, but that was another good trade. Anybody shout? No, nobody said anything about this one. Not the typical shape, but it kind of ran out of steam at the top. This will be. Oh, this one's a gap fill. Gap on this one. Well, that's enough. What do you say? That's enough excitement for one day. So what is it right now? It's 150. Wow, man, I can talk. You can make a video. Augustine asked, "Can you make a video of that trade that not have the shape?" You mean like this one, ALSN? I don't want to. Honestly, I don't want to. I don't want to. Like I mentioned in the past, when I used to teach and give 5 different examples. Yeah, I would look at the volume. I'm always looking at the volume. So this movement was irregular, right? That's what created so many people's interest. They wanted to go up. A lot of people wanted to go down. The reason I don't want to is because the mere fact that whenever I try to hone in, help people hone in on what looks good, it's not a good idea to show all these other aspects that work, because they don't work good all the time. So when you start throwing in different stuff that may possibly work but doesn't always work, then that's when people start having the wrong mindset, Like I mentioned in middle school when I taught fractions, and I thought it would be a great idea, an exciting idea, to show them 5 different ways to do fractions, and then by the next day none of them knew how to do fractions because they didn't know which process to use. So it was best to just teach them one way, one boring way. And even though they don't understand fractions or why you got the right answer, they know how to do fractions, more or less. And then eventually you can spiral in the other 5 or the other 4 ways later on. But to teach people multiple strategies or multiple movements can be like hazardous to your focus, I think. Yeah, I would say always focus on the ramp. That is the initial best move. And then the new one that we're seeing right now that I'm trying to show you all is the one we just did, the BSIG. That one didn't have the right shape either, right? That I wanted that to go up and then maybe go down 25% to 50%, except it went up, and then instead of doing the curl, it did a ramp, and then it did a fade. Those are, but that is why the complexity of our strategy, or is a compounded strategy. So regardless of what happens at the end, it's going to go the right way. It just, for me, this is not the ideal way. It's just but it still goes, right? Yeah, it is scary, right, Sonny? So these are a little bit scarier, but it's the same process, right? It's all about exhaustion. Is it exhausted? So our job as counter traders is just to identify if it's done yet. Are you done fighting? If you're done fighting, just just either tap out or fade out. You know. Yeah, I think so. I'm tired. So it's already like for me it's 1 o'clock. It's we're 12:53. So I hope y'all are going to be safe this weekend. Stay safe, guys. Things don't. For me in Texas, things are looking a little bit more grim. So we're just gonna hunker down and yeah, have a good weekend, guys. Stay green, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe. And I'll see y'all on Monday. Take care. Bye.